Hello, hello, hello. My name is Shanda Boyles. I am the founder and executive director of Shason Solutions nonprofit. We are a nonprofit organization here located in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, welcome to Wealthy Conversations. We're so happy to have you all. Today, we are meeting with Dr. Gladys Forte, and we are so happy to have her on with us. I'm so honored that she is having this conversation with me. I think very highly of Dr. Forte. She has a very special place in my heart. So before we get started, I want to do this disclaimer because I've forgotten in the other videos. Disclaimer: anyone that we have come on Wealthy Living Conversations to have a discussion, we respect their beliefs, we respect their life experiences, and we encourage them to speak from a place of honesty and transparency because that's what these conversations are about. Station Solutions is not a faith-based organization. We serve the community at large. Rather, if we have different faiths, uh, whatever differences we may have, we serve the community, and that's what Station Solutions is here to do, is to serve the community. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer. So, Dr. Forte, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you so much, Shanda. At first, before I get into myself, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. It is my honor and it is such a pleasure to join you in this platform. This is wonderful and thank you so much. So, as you said, I am Dr. Gladys Forte. I have a PhD in education, management, and leadership. So my focus is in management and leaders. I do a lot in our community with and in our church with women. That's my passion. That's my heart, trying to build women up and try to bridge the gap oftentimes. So I do have that higher education. I also am the founder of UB Balance Solutions. And there we train ministers, we train leaders, and I also talk about mental health issues and mental, just well-being, just the total well-being of people. I also founded a Balanced Life Ministry. That's where I do a lot of my mental health coaching and talking to individuals that just need balance in their lives. And live here in Charlotte for 25 years.
Okay.
We are retired military and have been here 25 years. I've been married to Wayne Everett Forte for 42 years.
Well, a real
Yay!
thing. Yes.
Going the distance. Going the distance. So that's great. And we have four children, several grandchildren, great grandchildren. So that's the bulk of it for me.
All right, all right. Well, thank you, Dr. Forte. Again, I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. So, Dr. Forte is a mental health professional. So, exactly what do you do in your with your in your ministry and your business with mental health? What exactly do you do?
So what I do is I try to offer solutions to
Okay.
people that, and I have to label coaching. Okay,
Okay.
I do more coaching. I am not a professional counselor, not yet, not yet,
Mhm.
working on it. But I do a lot of solutions and just to help people to gain balance within their lives, and just teach people practical things that they could apply to their lives on an everyday basis that
Right.
they may have overlooked. And then if they choose prayer, we always offer prayer. But and
Awesome.
then some people were like, "No, I'm good. Okay, I'll talk to you next time." So
That's
it's their
it.
choice. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's their choice. Not trying to force people into religion. I want to encourage people to be healthy, to be well. That's what I
Right.
want to encourage people to do.
Awesome. That's great. So you said that you're a coach and not a counselor. So what is the difference between mental health coaching and like mental health counseling? What's the difference between those?
Okay, a lot of it is legality.
Okay.
So a counselor is licensed. That means they have taken a state certified board and passed, and then do your hours that you are instructed to do, and then you are a licensed counselor.
Okay.
A coach is a person that has education, that has studied, but has not gone before a licensing agent to get a license.
Okay. Okay.
So
So,
I have pretty much the same, some of the similarities of education as a counselor, but I
right.
have not taken a state issued test.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So, when you talk about coaching and counseling, who do you think would be ideal? So, who would be the ideal person to maybe do coaching versus counseling or counseling versus coaching? Like, is there a certain like criteria that you kind of go through, or is there a list that you go through to say, okay, this person would be more fitted for, yeah, this person would be a good candidate for coaching, or this person will be a good candidate for counseling?
No, I do believe that most counselors were probably coaches before they became counselors,
Okay.
because many people are encouraging people and are trying to help people and redirect people before they actually go and take a state board test. So
Okay.
I do believe that it could be either way.
Okay.
But again, the limitations are there for coaches that are not there for counselors.
Gotcha. So what would some of the limitations be for coaches?
Okay, once again, the um, passing the state board
Right.
test. That's like the huge one.
Right.
Coaches are not cannot necessarily file insurance claims or any of.
Okay.
Okay, so I cannot get Medicaid or Medicare or somebody to pay for coaching. It's usually out of pocket
Gotcha.
um, or pro bono.
Okay.
Um, but then for counselors, they also go deeper.
Okay.
They go deeper and they don't diagnose, but they recommend people
Mhm.
that may need medication. They refer them up to physicians and psychiatrists and different things of that nature.
Gotcha. Okay. So
So
it's all
coaches don't go as deep.
okay. So it's all on like legalities. Okay.
Legalities,
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were talking about wellness and health, that's a lot of what that is what the Shason is based on. It's about holistic health and wellness of the person. So we take into, consideration mind, body, soul, like mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, all of that, because those things holistically make up the person. So when you think about mental health, when people say mental health, really, what does that entail exactly? Mental health. What do people mean by that? Because I mean, we kind of use it so broad and so vaguely, but
Right.
like, what are some like more specific things that you look at as far as for like mental health?
Okay, so when you say mental health
Mhm.
and also mental wellness, okay, you
Right.
want to kind of use the two interchangeably,
Okay.
but what we're talking about is your state of mind and your thought process and how you process things and what condition your mind is
Mhm.
in. So some people's mind are they don't have the ability to unravel things and to process and to think things through. And then you have people that are very stressed and very stressed all the time, very reactionary, have anxieties and all these things. That's your mental capacity.
Mhm.
How much can you process and digest? That's your mental. That's not emotional. That's mental.
Right.
Okay. So when you start to get on mental overload, you will see yourself getting really anxious, really frustrated. Um, you see the anxiety there. Some people are angry, some people are violent, and different things like that. You know, then in many cases that it's a mental overload.
Okay.
And then um, to go deeper, some people cannot function without medication. That means they might be maybe schizophrenic, they might be bipolar, or more deeper things that they would have to see a physician for.
Right.
So it's all about how you process things and having balance. So when you talk about mental wellness,
Okay.
we're talking about the ability to process, to build the ability not to become overwhelmed in issues and situations, but
Right.
to be able to have a solution and think it through. And to basically self-regulate to where you can calm yourself down without feeling overwhelmed and um, just overcome with emotions every time.
Right, right.
So
And
that's your difference.
okay, awesome. That's really good because especially in the climate and in the just in the world that we live in, it's a
Yeah.
lot going on, and there's so many people. We as people can be very emotion ruled, where we just react upon like how we feel in that moment, and we aren't thinking clearly. So to be able to have like a service like what you offer, mental health coaching, mental health wellness. I thank you so much for being able to like describe the two. So that was really good, very helpful. Um, it's important. It's important. So mental health, how does that impact? How have you seen its impact on like those that the clients that you have or just in life, the mental health of someone, how does that impact like their physical, their emotional, their spiritual, like the other aspects of them?
Okay. So the thing about mental health and mental wellness, like I said, I talk about those two interchangeably with my clients that I'm talking to. I
Mhm.
want the client to have the ability to process. I want
Right,
them to be able to think about it. Okay. Can you or could you have controlled the outcome of whatever happened? And
right.
oftentimes the answer is no. Well,
Mhm.
if the answer is no, there's nothing that you can do to change the outcome. Getting angry is not going to change the outcome. Crying is not going to it's not going to change it. So you have to have accountability with yourself in order to understand your role in it.
Right,
Okay? So what I share with people is to think about yourself. Can you control that? You cannot control anybody else's behavior. You can't. Okay. A stickler of mine is time. I'm
mhm,
very time conscious, very time oriented. So I'm looking at the clock. If I tell somebody to meet me at 12 o'clock and
mhm.
here it is 12:15, I have a choice. Am I going to be like, oh my God, ugh. Okay. So now my anxiety and my frustration is building. You
Right.
got to realize that the person that is late, that's their situation.
Hmm.
Either they did not plan on time, they didn't allow enough time. It could have been traffic that they got behind. They could have waited the last moment or whatever. But still, there's no need for me to get excited, to get my blood pressure raised, and get frustrated for somebody else's behavior. So, what I share is I point out the issues and to see if that person can see, like, for themselves. Like, you have to control you. Don't let outside factors get you all flustered all the time.
Right.
Because the goal is wellness, the goal is happiness. Okay.
Mhm.
That's the goal that I want to make sure that I'm pushing people towards and encouraging people towards is happiness. Nobody that I have met want out of 8 hours want to be angry and frustrated for 8 hours every day.
Right.
You don't. You want happiness. You want peace. You want joy. You want all of those things in your life.
Right.
And if you can learn how to balance out yourself, you
Right.
will not let the outside energies affect you. And
Right.
then you're calmer. So that's what I share with a lot of people just to get them, especially women, because women carry stuff. They carry
Right.
stuff from what
Yes.
a boyfriend did 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They still mad
Right.
about let it go so you can be happy. And
Right.
and you know what? 10 times it, it, he's better off not in your life.
That's it.
If he was in your life, you probably be worse off. So
Right.
what I'm saying is when he leaves, give him all the energy and all the baggage that he brought, send that out the door with him. We
That's
got to learn how to let it go so that we can be whole
right.
and we can have the capacity to love the next person that God is sending to us.
Right.
But we carry all of this stuff in our mind. We
Right.
think about how somebody said something way back when, or It might have been a best girlfriend that did wrong or something. We got to move beyond that part so that we can be well,
That's
so
it.
that we can be whole. And
Right.
then fill that particular space where the bad energy was, fill it with good energy, positive thinking, thinking forward on what you can do to build yourself and how you're going to grow yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I be sharing with people.
Well, that's really good. That's good because it sounds like a lot of it stems from self-regulation and how
Yep.
we perceive the world, how we
Right.
perceive others around us, our perspective on, just different circumstances and our relationships and just all the things. And it comes from that. So you
Mm-hmm.
were saying, that you tell people that one of the things that you found that people struggle with is holding on to things.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is it that you see comes from that? So when people like keep all this anger and this frustration in or just things that happened years ago, and they're still holding on to that, like how do you see that, I guess, manifest itself in like their now?
I see it come out as anger.
Okay.
I see it come out in their relationships, whether it be male or female. A
Right.
lot of women that I talk to, the first thing out of their mouth is, "I don't deal with women."
Mm,
That's the first thing that come out of their mouth. So okay, so my question would be why? And
right.
they usually tell me a story from
Right.
way back when that
Right.
something happened that they didn't
Right.
let go of.
Wow.
It wasn't yesterday that this happened. It could have been 10, 15 years. And they still, I don't fool with women. Women are messy. Women are not.
Oh,
We have a lot of things in common
right.
that we can share, that we can build on, and we can build each other up, help grow each other.
Mhm.
Things that I've been through in my life, if I share it with you, well, you don't have to have the same stumbling blocks that I did, because
That's
now
it.
you know how to go around.
Right.
But if I don't share it with you, you're going to go through the same route, the same bumps. And
Right.
you don't have to if we would share our story in a positive way. But
Right.
what we do sometimes is we hold on to things rather than let it go. It comes out also in your blood pressure
Yeah.
is often raised,
Hmm.
weight gain and overeating, because now we're stress eating. It's emotional eating. Everything's emotional.
Right.
Oftentimes I find that we're moved by our emotions. If we feel good today, we deal with people. If we feel bad, we don't deal with people. Everything's emotion. If the sun's out, I'm happy. If it's raining, I'm sad. You know what I mean? We've got
Right.
to learn how to be happy every day. Whatever comes our way, we got to find the positive in it. You deal
Mhm.
with the bad things, you find a solution, and then you move on with that.
That's
Okay. So
good.
you have to, so it comes out in a lot of different ways, Shanda. And I've seen it a lot of it is with in their relationships, can't hold a relationship.
Hmm.
Um, if God was to send a good man, they can't recognize the good man because they still holding on to what the other man did.
Right.
So now the new man is gonna get all that energy. They're
Right.
gonna get all that energy. So when he go out the door, oh, he's probably going to cheat. This man may not be thinking about cheating, but because
Right.
it happened before,
Hmm.
sometimes we as individuals, what we do is we carry that over. So we got to learn to heal. Okay, we got to learn to heal. Sometimes people go to therapy. They go to therapy to heal. People go to church, religious organizations to heal. People go to, they take classes, yoga, different things that they like to do
Hmm.
for enjoyment to help heal them. But the key is wellness,
Right.
not to hold on to things, to heal, let it go, and move past and build something greater than you had before.
Right. That's good. So, because I know in the past that is something I have struggled with is holding on to unforgiveness, and it really does affect you. It
It
affects
does.
you emotionally, mentally, like in every area it affects you in ways that you wouldn't even think of, especially in the area of relationships,
Hmm.
because you judge everyone off of your past traumas and what
Right.
you went through with somebody else. And
That's
so it
true.
is important to let that go because that's going to absolutely impede your growth. It's going to steal your joy. And that's
Hmm.
not what we're doing. We don't want that to
Right.
happen.
That's not what we're
So
doing.
that's it. No, we're not doing that. Not in 2025. We moving
That's
forward. We
not
letting
what we're
things go.
doing.
So my question is, someone saying, they're seeing themselves in this conversation and they're like, you know what, I really got some work to do. The first thing I need to do is to be able to let go. But how do I do that?
Hmm.
How do you like what are some things that they can do, practical things they can do to help them let go of whatever it may be, whatever it is that they're holding on to, whatever negative things that they're holding on to.
Okay. I will start here. I will start with a general practice first, and then I'll take it to a spiritual level.
Okay.
So, in a general practice is you want to find a safe space for yourself.
Okay.
Okay, whether it's a quiet space, your quiet time, to where you can think and where you can process.
Right.
Uh, Journaling, write things down to where it's not a real going on in your head where you're playing the video and playing things over and over and over. What you want to do is jot it down on paper. So now you've voiced it, you've given reason and voice to the fact that you suffer from unforgiveness. Okay, write it down.
Okay.
If you're angry about whatever it is, write it down. Okay. That way it's not going over in your head anymore.
Right.
Okay. The next thing is, again, go for me, outside is therapy for me.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love outside. I love to walk in parks. I love to go, exercise, get my walk in. When I get my walk in, not only am I helping myself physically, but I'm also helping myself emotionally. When
Right.
I walk the track, I'm actually praying a lot of times and doing my devotion.
Right.
But before I became like even saved or even thinking about God, I always had to be outside. Like
Mm,
I love outside. I go to the park, I go riding bikes. All of that was refreshing for me.
okay.
So you got to find ways and do things that make you feel good. Surround yourself with like individuals that are more happier,
Hmm.
got, things going on, people that you can hang out with, that you can have a good time with. Do things like that, things that you really like to do. Now,
Right.
to take it to a spiritual level, a devotion is very important. Again, you're still journaling,
Right.
you're still writing down, you're reading scriptures, um, uplifting songs. Music is therapeutic. Music has a an effect on your psyche. So if you listen to music that's very dark and your feelings usually go down that path with it.
Right. Yeah, it
Okay?
sure does.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you listen to something that's very upbeat, it tends to lift you up as well. So just doing those simple, practical things you will find will change your mood and your thought process. The next thing is to figure out your own behavior. Figure out what your triggers are. What
Hmm.
is it that irritates me about this person? Why is it that this person can always pull me out of my character? You have to
Right.
recognize that and avoid those things. Avoid it.
Mm.
If you got somebody that's calling your phone that's going to trigger you, or someone posting on social media that's going to trigger you, you have to cut those things off. It's not beneficial for you. It's not.
Mhm.
Don't go to social media to see what whoever said, whoever, and now they have pulled you into it and it has changed your mood.
Right, right. Yeah. I think we've all
I'm
been
gonna
guilty of that.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you honestly. You told me to be myself.
Yes, do it.
I'm the block queen.
Yeah.
I will block you. on
Mm.
social media because it's mine.
That's it. That's
I can
true.
control who comes on my page and who comes. I can control that.
That's
If
it.
you're not saying good things and things that's going to build me up, you're not for me. You're not in my team. And it's okay for me to say that.
That's it.
If this person is not making you feel like if they causing the anxiety and the anxiousness and you got bitterness, you have to shut that down for you.
That's it. That's it.
And it's okay.
Right. Agreed. Yes.
It's
Dr.
okay.
Forte says it's okay
It's
to take be
okay.
blocked, be blessed.
Be
Okay.
blocked, be blessed.
Yes, that's it. Be blocked,
Exactly.
be
Be
blessed.
blocked,
Yes.
be blessed.
That's it.
And
We're
it's
not taking in
okay.
that type of negativity. No. And then
Yeah, don't
too,
take it in.
another thing that's so important is if it's everyone but you, okay? This is the thing too. If it's
Yeah.
everyone but you, that's when you really need to do a heart check. And you need to look
Yes.
within and say, okay, what's it about me on the inside of me that makes
Yes.
me respond to everyone? Why is it that I'm able to see all these other things in everyone else, but I'm not seeing anything in myself? So that's when
Yes.
you need to hold up a mirror to yourself and say,
Hmm.
okay, let me take a hard look in the mirror at myself. Let me see what it is about me. What is it on the inside of me that makes me respond, that makes me react the way that I am? Because it can't be everybody but you. Because the common
Yeah.
denominator in all
Yeah.
of your relationships is you.
It's you. It's
Yeah. So
you.
there
And
has to
we
be,
do.
yeah, there has to
And
be
we
a
do. I
level of
like
accountability.
that's correct. And
Hmm.
I like when you said look into the mirror.
Right.
Look into the mirror. How much time do we actually stand and look in a physical mirror? Usually it's a glance. You
Right.
glance, you're getting ready for work, you glance, your hair is good, my makeup's good, boom. You don't
Right.
ever stand there and really take in and observe what you see.
Hmm.
A mirror reflects the image that's standing in front of it.
Hmm.
So it's like you said, if every relationship you get in, there's cursing, screaming, and fighting in every relationship, you got to look at yourself. What is causing this?
Right.
What is my triggers that is causing me to want to fight in every relationship?
Right.
You got to you're right. You got to take a look at yourself and be willing to change the behavior.
Yes, you have to do
Don't
the
keep doing
work.
the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results. We have to make changes in our lives
Right.
and be okay with the change that we make.
Right. That's good. That's really good. So someone is listening to this and they're like, oh Lord, like I need to do some work. I need to do some work. Where should they start first? Like where should they start first with making these types of changes that will not only make impact their mental health and make them more happy and just and their improve their mental wellness, physical, spiritual, because all of that plays a role. We are holistic individuals. Mental health, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, even in our relationships, financial health, like all of that plays a part in who we are. So, where would you say, as far as mental health and mental wellness goes, where should they start first?
I'm going to use this analogy.
Okay.
Have you ever been to the mall or to an outlet and you go to the locator that tells you where
Mm-hmm.
all the stores is, that board that tells you all the stores, and there's a star that says you are here,
Right.
right? And then once you recognize where you are, then you look to find the store in which you want to go to. That's
That's
what we usually
it.
do,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same analogy with that. We can use that analogy within our own personal lives. Recognizing where you are first is most important. Recognizing that Wednesdays are hard for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say Wednesdays, some people can't do Mondays, whatever. Recognize where you are. Recognize your own triggers that gets you upset.
Right.
Okay. Recognize when you are on overload and that there's nothing else to give people.
Right.
So it is a personal inventory that we have to take within ourselves. We got to look within. I can't look without to trying to find the solutions to help me. I
Right.
got to look within to find some things to help me. So
That's
I recognize where I'm at. Okay. Today, I might have too many things going on to take on something else. Okay. I recognize that.
mhm.
I acknowledge that. So therefore, I'm going to plan my day, my time, and everything around not taking on anything else. I have to say no. I have to
Right.
say, thank you so much, but I
Right.
can't do it today.
hmm
And I had to be okay with that. And the
Right.
person that you're telling that, they don't have to be okay with it, but you have to do what's best for you. So
Right.
again, taking a inventory, spiritual inventory, emotional inventory, mental inventory to see where you are. When you take those inventories, it's going to kind of tell you where you are on your physical side.
Right.
Because what goes on in your mind affects your body.
Yes, it does.
What goes on in your emotions affects your body.
Right.
So if your mind is overwhelmed, if your emotions are stressed and strained, your body's tired too
Right.
because it's draining all the strength from the body.
That's
So you
it.
want to start with emotional mental inventory first. Okay? Then, like I said with the stores, you want to see where you want to go.
Mm.
Where do I want to go? I want to be healthy. I want to be happy Monday through Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. Okay. So then you have to do a plan for that happiness. What am I going
Right.
to do? I get up. I know I want to be fit. I want to be healthy physically.
hmm
I don't want to take any medication
Right.
unless it's major and the doctor says I absolutely have to. Okay.
Right.
But I
hmm
don't want to have to take something because my blood pressure is high and all I got to do is relax and calm down, right? So
Right.
anything that I can control, that's what I want to do.
hmm
So if I want to be end up in a emotional, mental well space, I have to set a plan for getting there.
That's it. That's really good. And another thing that I want to stress about what you had said is about giving yourself grace. That's one
Mhm.
thing that I have been learning in this season is that it's not this health journey that we're on, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, our life, okay?
Yeah,
It's not about necessarily like where we're going, but it's about the journey and how, the journey and all the things that we have to go through and to get to our desired, to get to that desired destination, wherever that may be from whomever. And so we have to understand, and one thing that I have learned that I have to understand is I have to give myself grace. I have to be kind to myself because I have not always been kind to myself. And I have to understand that there are going to be days where it's easier. It's going to be days where it's like, man, like I really did that today. Like I hit all my goals and superseded goals, right? Because we want
yeah,
every day to be like that, but that's just not going to always be the case. And you're going to
hmm
have days where you're going to fall short.
right,
And it's giving yourself grace, but not to the point where you just completely just give up. No, like every day is a new day to start back over. Every day is a gift from God that He gives us to be able to start back over, to be able to do better, to be able to be better. And so being able to remember that and to be kind and gracious towards yourself and to others as well. Because the
right,
same grace that we want, right? Like when we're not
yeah,
having a good day, when we may lash out at somebody, it's the same grace that we should give to others as well. Because
right,
I honestly think that that would help with not holding on to like bitterness and anger and things like that. Because we want people to forgive us for
yeah,
our trespasses, right? And for the
yeah,
things
we
that
do.
we do that's wrong. So who are we not to forgive them and extend that same grace towards them and forgiveness towards them? So,
hmm
what is it, the golden rule? Do unto others as you want them to do to you.
Yeah,
So I think that's something that's important to remember.
yeah. That is
Yeah,
so good. That is so good.
yeah,
And everything that you said, we can apply it to our lives every single day.
that's it.
But we have to
You
be,
have to.
yeah, and we
Mhm.
have to be intentional. We have to
Right.
be intentional. If you want to have long life, wellness, you want to have balance, you want to have laughter in your life, you have to be intentional
That's
because
it.
life happens to, the Bible says that life time and chance happens to everybody.
That's it.
Everybody's going through stuff.
Right.
Everything happens to everybody. It's how
Right.
we handle those things and how we take it in or choose not to take it in.
Right. That's
Sometimes
big.
we just take in too much. It's not meant for us to take everything in. It happened. Okay, we have to acknowledge, okay, this happened. Okay, now what are we going to do about it?
Right.
Don't harp on the fact that this happened. We got to move on and learn how to move on to get back to our wellness and our happy space.
That's it. That's it. That's so good. That is so good. And so thank you so much, Dr. Forte, for having this conversation. I think this was a really good, solid foundation that we laid for whomever may see this conversation that we're having, this healthy living conversation that we are having.
Absolutely.
I do. I think that this is a good place to start and to be able to build upon. So if someone wants to reach out to you for your services to say, you know what, I think it would really do me well to talk to her. Like, how can they reach out to you? And who all like do you counsel or do you coach?
Coach,
Coach.
I coach a lot of young women.
Okay.
Young women. When I say young women, I'm talking about women that are younger than me, that
Okay.
are usually is within the, I would say, 25 to 40 age range, somewhere
Okay.
in there, that are going through life. They have, some of them have been in bad relationships.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, it's single moms who, just need somebody to talk to, need some encouragement. So if anybody wants to reach me, they can go to my website. It is www.drgladysforte.com. On there, you will see contact information. I'm
Okay.
also on Facebook. I am UB Balance and Dr. Gladys Forte. So if you type that in, both will come up and
Okay.
you will be able to contact me, and you can inbox message me as well.
Okay.
Um, and I do respond back. I do respond back. It takes me a little while to sometimes sift through the calls that are real and the calls that are not real. So
Right.
we get a surge of information. You get a surge of people that just are reaching out and then they change their mind. Whatever. And then
Yeah.
you get scammers as well. So it
Right.
might take me a little bit of time to reach out, but I do reach back out. So just trying to encourage people to
Right.
be the best version of themselves. I
Right.
do not want to live 100 years old and be sad all 100 years.
That's it. That's it. That's not even how we were created to be.
Mm-mm,
That's not even how we were created. So
mm-mm.
that's really good. So what about men who may be wanting to look for coaching services? Because I know you focus on women, but I mean, would you be able to do like any referrals for like a man that comes through and says that he wants to be coached? Or I don't know how you would handle that.
I actually do. And actually, me and my husband we partnering up.
Okay,
So he does a
awesome.
lot of the coaching and encouraging for men.
Okay.
So yeah, so under UB in the UB balanced
Hmm.
ministry. Okay, sorry, a balanced life ministry.
Right.
I got a balance in everything.
You do.
A balanced life ministry. My husband is my partner that coaches. We do family coaching as well. We also coach people that are thinking about getting married. We
Okay.
coach people that are getting divorced as well. And then I do talk to some men,
Hmm.
but if it's more of a personal nature, I
Hmm.
tend to refer them to my husband. And then if I need to come back in, I come back in at a later date on the conversation. But both of us do the coaching as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love Brother Wayne. He's amazing. Just a real good guy. Real good guy. I
Yeah.
love the Fortes. So,
Yeah.
so anyone who may be watching, definitely reach out to Dr. Forte, to have a conversation, with her. I see that you also give free consultations, like free
I do.
15-minute consultations.
I
Okay.
do.
Just to
And
see. Hmm.
Within that 15 minutes, basically what we do is just have a simple conversation, nothing in depth or deep,
Right.
just to see which direction does the person want to go, and to see is it something that I can handle at my level with coaching. I
Got
don't
you.
want to waste people time to where they spend weeks and weeks with me and then they need something more in depth.
Right.
Situation that they have might be more challenging, that they would need someone with a higher pay grade than mine.
Got you.
So I do that within the first 15 minutes to have conversation with them.
Okay. So you can do referrals out. You can refer them out.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. That's
hmm
amazing.
hmm
All right, so you all heard it. Thank you so much, Dr. Forte, for coming and having a wealthy living conversation with me. I will also have her information in the comment section as well as listed on the social media platforms for Shaysan Solutions Incorporated. So thank you again for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed the conversation. I know I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well, Dr. Forte.
I
So
did.
awesome. So we will see you all soon. Well, I will see you all soon for another wealthy living conversation. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Bye bye.